Hello, ladies. And let me see. I was a few minutes late, sorry, because I had to restart it. I forgot that I was taping something, so the camera was busy. So I had to restart the whole thing. Happy Easter for the ones of you who are celebrating Easter today. Awesome. What is that? Hold on, I'm trying to read. Remember that I have really bad eye issues. Good. Thank you for the tip, Elaine. Hi, Cherry. Hi, Nunya. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Darlene. I don't know, handmade craft ideas. Hi. So let me make sure that my camera is focused properly. I think it is. Now, Sunday before last, because last was an Easter special, remember that we did the embroidery thing, and so I wouldn't have to hold you forever to watch me embroider. I finished it and then I posted a photo, and it's also on the thumbnail of the previous broadcast. But anyway, this is pretty much how it looks like, and you can do it as is, but I thought of showing you an extra, you know how Emerald says, bam, let's bring it up another notch, an extra thing on this. And for this, at one point I did make a tutorial. Let me actually find it to link it here. Actually, a couple of tutorials. It was about clay inlay. Okay, it's inlay, not bouquet. Sorry. Sometimes I'm just amusing myself. Ah, yeah. You know, this whole thing of typing and going one key to the left or one key to the right can be really irritating. Okay, so I think that this was the first one I posted on clay inlay. Hi, Darice. Hi, Anna. Hi, Christy. And then, let's see, because I'm sure that there were two. I cannot find the other one. I'll post it afterwards so we don't have to be here and wait. So I'm going to do something similar with this, and then, well, because I cut the square, I cut it in two to make a pair of earrings. And then after I do this, I'm going to put it in the oven to bake and then work on the baked one, because one of them I already worked on it. So the first thing that you need to do is, and it didn't take me too long, I got some black clay that's super soft, and I didn't discover until I opened it today, and there was no time to leach it. But anyway, what you need to get some clay, and the best is to use black, because that forms the best inlays there. But of course, you can use white, you can use any other color. And what I showed you before was how to use this method with stamps. But what you need is the clay to be super soft. And I softened up some, and you can soften it up even more. I didn't soften it up completely. And you do that with the liquid clay. You can even do it with Bake and Bond. It's up to you what you try to do. It's going to be messy. Yes, it's going to be messy, especially on black, because that stains your fingers. Hi, Colleen. And yes, I will show you something that I'm working on, and it's going to be a mini series if you want. But after I'm finishing this one, I'll go get this in the oven. I'll show you. As I said, slowly, I'm getting back on track. And I'm also working on sponsor tutorials release because it's the end of the month, and that's when I usually get them out. And then I need to mow my lawn, which is horrible, but I have to do it because starting tomorrow afternoon, I'm gonna get a lot of rain, and then Tuesday and Wednesday we might have severe weather. Okay, hi Sue. Hi Deborah. So I have this super sticky, nasty thing. Okay, that's clay mixed with liquid clay. And yeah, you can mix it with black liquid, but it's going to be double the staining, and you don't really need to. So what I'm doing is practically to cram it in, because there will be tiny spaces between the threads of clay. And I'm going to do just a bulk thing to start with. And all you have to be careful about is to make sure that it goes in all the nooks and crannies. Dang, Colleen, that doesn't sound good. But yeah, here I'm a little worried because generally when I don't know how many of you are familiar with the SPC forecast of the Norman National Weather Center. Usually when they put an announcement of bad weather several days in advance, already in the yellow and sometimes in orange, that means that the weather can get really nasty that day. No, Colleen's in Canada. So yeah, that's why she's got snow. Okay, then of course you need to kind of clean your fingers a little bit. And now let's go ahead and shave a little bit. You don't have to shave a lot, you know, just what might be the too much of extra clay. Exactly like you would do on butter on a piece of bread. Only that it's way stickier. It's like trying to do this thing with the, I don't know, Jello? Not Jello, peanut butter. Peanut butter mixed with chocolate syrup. That's pretty much, or not chocolate syrup, marshmallow cream. That's about how it feels. But see, make sure like here, there was a spot where it didn't go very well in. So go in and do it again. And now once I did this, make sure that it's all over the place. So once I did this, I'm going to just get some regular clay, which in my case, it's a little bit too soft for my own personal taste. But hey, you know, one gotta do what one gotta do. I'm sorry, Colleen. Yeah, I was actually a little worried. I normally don't eat in the morning. I was never a breakfast person. But and the same, before I had cancer, I never had heartburns. But after I had chemotherapy, because you know, chemo kind of messes up with every single lining type tissue in your body. I mean, because it affects any fast dividing, fast growing cell. That's why you're losing your hair and you might lose your fingernails. That embroidery thing, Remy, that we did 2 Sundays ago. So what I'm going to do, this is on not on the thickest setting, but on a medium setting. I think it was a 4. And you don't even need for it to be super straight because I'm going to use a sponge on it. But obviously we'll need a little bit of bacon bond. So as I was saying, I never had heartburn in my life. I had a super strong stomach before I had chemotherapy. After chemo, I started having horrible heartburn. It was kind of funny the first time I had one because I had no idea how that felt, and I thought I was having a heart attack. But it wasn't a heart attack, it was heartburn attack. I actually called my nurse. She's like, "Oh no, sweetie, you have a heartburn, and that's probably from your chemo." But since then, I've been suffering horrible heartburns, and a lot of times there's no rhyme or reason for them because most of the time it doesn't depend on what I ate or not. Sometimes it's just if I, you know, you don't know, when we work, we kind of slouch over the table, and that would be enough. But I'm trying to avoid, and sometimes if I eat right when I feel the first pangs, it kind of staves it off. So you see, I'm cutting about 2 millimeters away. Yeah, but my other problem is that since I started having this fatigue, if I eat, I get drowsy. So I had to eat, and it was like an hour ago. I was like, oh God, I hope I don't fall asleep before the live. I think I need to do again the wake up call thing because when I had this severe fatigue a few months ago, they were my sponsor ladies who would always be on wake up call duty and call me on Facebook. Hey, wake up. Lifetime. Okay. Hi, Witch Willow. Yeah, talking about weather apps, let me give you an absolutely awesome tip. I don't know how many of you know, but Oklahoma has pretty much the best weathermen in the country and probably in the world. Because, hey, we have the National Weather Center here. And one of the best there is a guy named Aaron Tuttle. And I'll give you the link to his stuff. He used to be the weatherman of one of our local TV channels, but then he just got pissed with all the requests for hyping he was getting, for ratings, and he didn't want to do that. And also all the, nepotism and all the crap that usually goes at the workplace. So he left the local TV channel and now he's working for the FAA. But he opened his own YouTube channel. He has a Facebook page and he developed a free phone app, which is the best weather app ever. It saved hundreds of lives, not just here in Oklahoma. I mean, it can tell you sometimes it was like half an hour ahead. So it's both for Android and for, let me get you his page. And you can even put it on a Fire Kindle if you install the Google Play app. Let me give you his channel, because if you go to his channel and you go to the About, you can find out where to get the app. And it's a life-saving app. I mean, I'm not in any way trying to make him money or trying to make him anything. It's just that good, And actually, let me give you his Facebook thing. Because on Facebook you can find out where to download his app. And every time there is severe weather, he would go live on Facebook and cover it live. He's got very neat software and stuff. It's really awesome. Okay, let me see if I... Yeah, and I don't... You know, I thought a lot of times of going to Arizona, just because of lack of humidity, and being European, I mean, I have to get around with my inhaler even after 20 years of moving here because of the high humidity. And Oklahoma has very high humidity. We have very muggy weather. So you see, I am losing the blade on my X-Acto knife. Oh, come on. Hi, Sharon. Hi, Christina. So where I want to go here first is, hold on, I lost my screen. Is it bright enough? Is this bright enough? Let me try and do a little bit brighter. Come on. There we go. Okay. So I'm trying to go not completely at a 45 degrees angle, but a little bit at an angle right now. And that's one thing that I always try to, you know, and underline in all my tutorials, that you don't have to fuss and waste time in doing a nice edging and a nice finishing when doing something, because you can make it absolutely perfect after it's baked simply by sanding. And I will show you when on the one that's already done. So what I'm doing, I'm bringing the one from underneath over to create a bezel. And yeah, it's still quite sticky. And you want it to be not very thick. So you bring it over nicely. Okay, there is. Yeah, you can watch it when it's completely over and in replay. Okay, then I'm going to just see how it's stuck to my fingers because it's so sticky. I'm just going to give it a few sponge prints. Not a lot, just a little bit. Like this. Then try to unstick it. And the thing is that because it's like this and I'm going to sand this, I don't have to worry about putting paper or anything. I'm going to just stick it on my tile like this. And then it goes in the oven. Let me first clean my hands so I don't leave traces of black clay everywhere. But yeah, remember, alcohol cleans clay. So if you're using a paintbrush for liquid clay, you can always clean it with alcohol, and actually a resin one, as long as it's not completely dried out. Okay, give me a minute to go put this in the oven, and I'll be back and we'll work on the one that's already done. Okay, let's make some room here and I'll check the chat and untangle myself. Okay. Alrighty, so what I wanted to show you is I started working on, and I'm sure that a lot of you are fans like me. Hi Soile, hi Donna, hi Sharon. It's going to be a complete mini series. This is Viserian's egg. And I'll show 3 different ways of putting it together because there are 3 different eggs, and also how to make the chest for them. So that would make a beautiful, beautiful present for somebody, or, you know, a beautiful decoration for your house. But yeah, and for people who don't watch it, this is one of the dragon eggs from Game of Thrones. Excuse me. Okay. No, I have a convection oven and you don't need to preheat those. I usually go about 30 minutes per 1/4 inch of thickness. What? Cool down. Yeah, you might want to check the website because I have a whole bunch of articles there, and I think I said a few words about baking too. Okay, so this is the one that I have already made. And we are going to start sanding. And because I want to remove quite a bit of this, I'm going to use a low grit. Probably not going to go as low as 120 to start with. I'm going to see how a 240 goes first. And if you got your things, always use a permanent marker or a laundry marker on the backs because not all of them are marked. And I've added another set of these to the Amazon influencer store because I found one that also has 1200 and 1500 and 2000 and 3000. Okay, so let's start first with defining the size. Because remember, as I said, you don't have to worry too much about making it look perfect when it's raw, when it's so hard to handle and not deform it. And then just a little bit of this. And if I don't press, it's going to be perfectly straight. If you don't have one of these, then you just go against the table like this on a lower grit. But I can tell you, right now, Christy, I see that Donna Cato doesn't have it anymore. And I only found it on a European site. I'll put the link again after I'm done with this, just remind me. But I'm trying to find some material. If I find it, then I'll might just make my own and sell it because everybody wants it and it's not always available. I mean, I hate to cut a fellow artist, but on the other hand, when there's such a high demand and there's no offer, you know, everybody wants these. Okay, now let's slowly go and see if this is enough. And it might not be. I might have to go one lower. And yes, I'm going to go lower than this. Let me switch to a 120. You can see that I sanded something green. Yeah, I never go as low as like 60. 120 would be the... But yeah, you never want to sand polymer clay without water because that fine dust is going to mess up your lungs really bad. So you always want to use water. So here I'm just going with the 120 to get the thickest part. And now I think I can go back to the 240. And you hear it's not noisy at all. And it's very light on the hand. I'm sorry, Elaine. But yeah, I'm working on a sanding tutorial, and I want to be very, very thorough. So it takes a while to do it in between other tutorials. And remember, with the lowest grits, you pretty much shape. As you go higher, what the higher ones do is to practically remove the scratches of the lower grits. No, I actually, thank you, Cherry, but I actually took one about an hour before the live. So unless the weather starts getting bad or just the position, I should be okay. And remember, I told you all that I never take a full dose. I always take half. And see how the pattern underneath starts showing. And when I start seeing it showing, I'm going to actually stop with the 240 and go to a 400. But before that, I'm going to gently do the edges here, just a little bit. And see, I'm on a 45-degree angle, like this. And of course, I need a little bit on the corners. And I also want the back corners. Okay, now I can stop it and go to 400. And now we can go nice and gentle. And the pattern will start to be revealed. And it's going to look a little bit like a mosaic. Can you slice it off like a mokumegane? Yeah, if you have very steady hands. With me, that's not the case anymore. But that's why when you bake the embroidered, you want to bake it between tiles and paper to help making it stay flat. I have question is, do you press in any way when you're using the sanding one? Yes, you press a little bit because you're sanding, you're removing layers. When you're buffing, you don't press at all. You don't want to press at all because it has to be almost like butterfly's wing touch if you want to get good buffing. Yeah, I think I could have stayed a little longer with the 240. It's not doing much, the 400, because I have to stay flat. And always remember when you use the one that when you do stuff like this, what's in the middle won't get sanded as fast as what's on the edges of the pad, just because the edges rotate faster, right? Yes, it will take a little bit, but you will get all the design coming up. And I want to tell you that I am moving along nicely with getting ready the destashes and everything else that's going to be for the store. But you have to think that I have to sand and buff what's pretty much over 200 pieces, mostly cabochons, and probably at least 100 beads that need to be either buffed or varnished. So it takes a while, even if yesterday I didn't, but pretty much every day I try to reserve at least an hour of sanding. Hi, Prandl. Hi, Tina. And see, we are getting there. And depending on the colors you use, like this one is going to look a little bit on the psychedelic side because I used very bright colors. But you can use pearlescence, of course, and you'll get a little bit of mica shift effect as well. Okay, now I can switch back to the 400. Yeah, it's going to be very pretty. It's going to look kind of like a painting. Okay, depending on what you use, which stamp you use. And also, don't go all the way, not even with the 400, because even up to 1200, the sandpaper will still take some of this off. Okay, moving to 600. What you don't get, Sissy? Yes, stained glass. As I said, it depends on the colors that you use. You'll get different looks depending on what you use for the embroidery. No, I haven't seen an Elvis one in a long time. In Eastern Europe, it's more with the eloping from the harem kind. So now the 600 is going to pretty much remove the scratches from the 400. And obviously my threads were a little bit thin in this area, so yeah, there are a lot of things that you can do in polymer clay that don't require patience, but some of them, if you want to get something awesome, you have to be very patient. Okay, try. Reminds me of one of the French art painting currents. You probably could do the Starry Night with this very nicely. Van Gogh painting. Maybe I should do that to show you how. Okay. Then a little bit on the bezel, because we want it to be shiny when we come back and buff it. And yes, I will show you how to buff it too. Yeah. I'm sorry, Christy. I don't know why. It's not. It's YouTube, I guess. It shows me that I have a good signal. And you know, I always choose the low buffering kind, even if it causes to have a little bit of a delay between what I'm saying and what you hear. And of course, you can go deeper than this. I just think that it's nicer if I keep some of this black some more. And we are getting the hardest part is gone. Now it's just a little bit of and I'm going to go just slightly on the back, just 2 passes. Now 1000. And there is a huge difference if you go only to like 1500 compared to if you go to like 2000 and 3000. It's a big difference in the amount of shine you get. Yeah, that's what I was saying when I said that about the Elvis thing, that when I said that in Eastern Europe it was the eloping from the harem thing. And everybody had that on their wall. You can still find some of those 70s things. There's a thrift store here in town that's got a lot of those things. And furniture and all kinds of lamps and even old Coke bottles. Okay. And see how much time and effort on the hands this thing saves. It's amazing. And talking of which, I said that yes, I'm going to do a show off tutorial, not tutorial, show off video to show you all of them Podium cabochons I've been sanding. And there will be quite a bit in the dispatches too. But I'm trying to get everything ready for uploading. Not sure how much I'm going to be able to do today because, as I said, I need to go mow. Because if I don't, I'm gonna get a ticket. Oh yeah, and I took photos. I'm going to upload more photos later on Facebook on my garden. There's a lot of stuff that's in bloom. Some of my peonies have bloomed. Most of my irises, and I have all kinds of colors. White, salmon pink, varieties. I have a very deep purple. The batik didn't bloom yet. But the first one this year, the first one to bloom was the Immortality, the pure white. And even the Dutch irises started blooming. And the roses, it's going to be an earring. It can be a pendant, you can make it smaller. Most of the time I make things a little bit larger than what I would usually do, just for people to be able to see better how it's done. And there are very few tutorials in which I made them. And sometimes I'll make two variants to show the actual normal size compared to the tutorial size. I mean, honestly, I would make this just only half of what it is and leave this as a pendant if I were to make stuff for sale myself. Yeah, I have to do that. I have to take very frequent breaks. But the other reason why I want to do it is because I'm waiting any day now for them to call me for that cataract surgery. And if I do it for like a month, I won't be allowed to bend and lift. So I'm going to try and have my lawn mowed as low as possible. Because it's very hard to find somebody to come and mow your lawn just once or twice, you know. Most companies want, oh, you hire us for the whole season. Well, I don't have money to hire you for the whole season because they don't even have, I would need, for example, to have it once a month mowed. No, they do at least once every other week. Well, sorry, dude, I have mostly flower beds in the front. I don't have that much lawn to be mowed. Okay, so we are on the 2000 and I'm going to do the 3000 as well. But most of the time, to be honest, when I sand something that's supposed to be buffed, I would sand it up to 1000, then buff it, do a primal buffing, just so I can see if there are any defects, if there's any area I need to insist on, and then I go, then I go and sand it all the way up to 3000, sometimes even 5000 to do the final buffing. So I'm going to insist a bit with the 3000. And on the side as well. Because this is actually the shining part. And this should be it. Gather my stuff. If you didn't realize yet that I'm quite OCD'd. Yeah, normally I have a sanding space in the kitchen. I don't sand here. And let's wipe it down real quick. And proceed with buffing. No, unfortunately, no. My neighborhood seems to be mostly with retired people, so not a lot of help there. I was thinking to go to the closest high school and see if I don't find any kid who wants some money for the coming summer, you know. Okay, now this is going to be much noisier than the sanding. And a lot of things, the ones of you who have been working for a while with polymer clay, let me move this closer to my hand, know that a lot of times you don't see the full beauty of a piece until it's sanded and buffed. And that goes especially for the forged gemstones and the mica strips. And I'm going to go a little bit on the back. Now, normally I would put this under water and I would take some a fingernail brush, and I'll do that afterwards, to get any polymer, oops, yeah, of course, I have to drop it, any polymer clay dust that might have gotten in the cracks on the back. That's my dropping things problem. Don't worry, this doesn't take it out of your hand. It's just me unable to. I have problems pinching and grabbing. Okay, now let's go for the Hi, Gayleen. Yeah, you're a bit late, but it's okay. You can always watch the replay. And remember, as I said, you can go deeper and the embroidery will show more and you'll have less black, but I chose to not go very deep. And always keep this at an angle because if it touches the piece with that little screw in the middle, it's going to gouge the clay. That spot here that could use a bit more sanding. And good enough for the purposes of the tutorial. I'm going to go back on it when I do the other one. But yeah, this is pretty much how it looks like. You can still see the flower, and as I said, if you want to go deeper, you can go deeper. But that's I'll have to look for the name of that current because I'm just having a brain fart. I don't know how to call them otherwise. Okay, this was from here. Just a second, let me grab the drill. And first, let me decide what I want to use. So obviously I'm going to have the French wire. But let's see, let's put 2 of these. I'm going to only need 1 for now. And a double coil. So going gradually, because remember, if you try to go too fast with the thicker drill, with a larger drill, you run the chance of cracking the clay. Oh, come on, get out of there. But I'm telling you, I can't wait to have that surgery because I'm working half blind here. Thank you, Anna. Okay, so we want to do it like this. So I don't do it like this. I think like, yeah, I think like this would be better. And you can measure, and you don't have to eyeball. I'm pretty much a good eyeballer. And I do this until I feel the, and you see I'm not putting the very tip, I'm putting this until I feel the drill tip touching the other side, and then I'll turn it around and go the other way. Okay, done that. Okay, now I see it. As I said, eyesight problems. And going in with a little bit larger one. Until I get to one size that would be a bit wider than the jump ring I want to use. And always check my Amazon influencer store, because in the findings I have a ton of stuff, and I even found and added there some really good priced 925 sterling silver findings. And I'm trying to add only Prime stuff, but sometimes there are things that you cannot find in Prime and you have to wait. Hi, Ivana. Buonasera. C'è sera in Italia, sì? Okay, so this would be, that's pretty much it. So I need at least one more size up. And yeah, you can go fast and you can go however you want, but I prefer to do things a little bit slowly and in steps for getting a good finish and a good result. A lot of times I might even add a baking step if I'm not really sure if I'm going to actually be able to handle the piece while adding stuff without messing it up. Well, it depends on the day, Anna. I do speak, I think, fairly decent English and French, and of course, my mother's tongue, Romanian. I can understand in Italian and Spanish. I'm not going to die of hunger if I go in any Russian, Slovakian, or Bulgarian speaking community. I might have to go one more. And yes, I'm one of those weird people who understands Latin and even speaks it and reads it. Molto grazie, Ivana. I kind of have problems seeing right now, even on the screen, even with this larger monitor. So you want this to have a little bit of give. You don't want it to be stuck in the hole you make. So that's why I'm going a little bit wider than the jump ring actually is, to allow it to move fairly freely. And this is my Mulder hand drill that I think it's the best hand drill I've ever had. These little drills are diamond tipped, and I drilled holes through stones with my bare hands. And it's only like, I don't know, it's under $14. And it comes with a drill and both of those drill bit sets. No, thank you, Cece. That's very nice. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's get this and put it in. I'm going to want to open it a little bit more. I wish I didn't have so many health issues and be able to make more tutorials, but as you can see, with my health deteriorating, I'm just going slower and slower and slower and slower. I'm happy I can still do it though. Okay, and see, it's got a lot of give, and because that way it's going to dangle nicely, not be stiff when you're wearing it. Can I close this one? Okay. Always, if you want to make sure that these don't open, use some jewelry glue or jewelry cement. Now, I know that I brought here some ear wires. And now we simply connect the ear wire to the dangly part of the earring. With a double coil. And for double coils, most of these, they come with a little ringy thing to use, but I can tell you that the best thing to use is one of these pliers. And you just go in, you find the end, and you just go in. And you want to go in so it will have enough room to get this in. Of course, if your hands don't mess up. And if you see what you're doing, that's the most important thing. Just keep not getting it at the proper place. There we go. Did you get it from my Amazon influencer store? I don't know. I'll have to look. I'm not sure if I added one. Let me check if I have one there. Give me just a minute. I'll check if I have. It is in. I have so many lists because I'm trying to keep everything organized. You know. Oh yeah, and by the way, I fully recommend this for cutting tools. It's for fine electronics, and it works beautifully. So yeah, the mother I got is $12. And it's in the tools area of the store. Let me see if I have the No, I don't have pliers like this. Let me see if I have another list for jewelry tools only. Jewelry tools. There we go. I do have a list just for jewelry tools. And I don't have one. Yeah, I'll have to look and check and add one like this in the influencer store. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I got some drills before and they didn't work that good. Okay, something that you need to pay attention here is how you place the jewelry wire, because you want the front to be aligned with the front here. So I'm going again to try and grab this split ring. And you want it to go in like this. It's super easy. And there we go. As I said, me personally, I would do them this long only, not as wide. And you can make them in any kind of size you want. But yeah, that's pretty much the other, bringing it up another notch to the plain embroidery thing. And as I said, you can go deeper and then you'll have less black and your embroidery will be better seen. And the best thing is to do a first draft buff if you want to see where you need to insist. But yeah, this is pretty much bringing it up another notch to the embroidery thing. So I don't know. We'll see what we're gonna do next Sunday. I don't know yet. Might be some flowers of some sorts or something. It will all have to. Maybe we'll do some canes. What about that? What about doing a cane and covering a bowl? Does that soon look? No, they are not heavy. Polymer clay is not heavy. It's never heavy. That's what's nice about it. So let's just do a full bowl workout, making the cane for it, covering it, sanding it, and all that. We might extend ourselves in 2 or 3 weeks, but I think it would make an interesting series, and I'll try to go through every little tip that I can remember. You want a flower cane, huh? Well, we can do a flower cane too. I'll put, what about this? I'll put a poll on the community tab on the channel, and everybody can go vote. That sounds good. So yeah, I would call these painted, and I'll have to search to remember the painting current that I'm referring to. It is inlay. Okay. I didn't do an iris cane, and an iris cane is not a good thing for a live tutorial. It's too complicated and it's got too many steps. Okay, I'm going to go lay down for a bit and then go mow my lawn. Thank you for being here with me today. I'll see you next Sunday. Have a great Sunday, and again, happy Easter for the ones of you who are celebrating it. Goodbye.